All right, guys, here we are on part 2 of the review. So we're starting with a grid with some points, and we are going to use them to do different things. So I'm going to write the points here. This is the same one we used earlier in the year on a test and probably an assignment. I guess the review for it. Don't expect it, obviously. If you see graphs or whatever on the benchmark, they're going to be different. Probably stuff we've never seen or used for what we're doing. So D is for -5. Nope, I think I get that backwards. 5, -4. Yeah. All right, so number 1, what is the distance between A, B? So one couple differences here, especially if we're talking about a benchmark and they ask you for distance. You're still obviously going to use the formula. So A and B, we're going to get 4 minus -3 squared plus 4 minus 1 squared. Right, that's what you're going to set up. So a couple things is, first, you can do this in the calculator, right? And you're going to get a decimal answer, but it's multiple choice. So they probably will not on the test have the answer like this. They may have a rounded decimal. They may have what we call simplified radical form, which is something we haven't talked about, which is a way to keep the answer similar to this, but not exactly like that. It kind of puts numbers outside the square root. But basically what I'm saying is, do the work, use your calculator, and then if you need to match an answer, right, put the square root of 58 in your calculator, see if it matches what you get, or put your answer choices in there, whatever they give you, like if it's even something like, 2 square root of 5, 4 square root of 3. Put that in the calculator exactly like that. 2, hit the square root button, 5, 4, hit the square root button, 3, and see if they match what you get from doing the work, right? So use the calculator here. I know we spent the whole time telling you don't do it, and you should know how to work it out, but use it to your advantage since we have it. Number 10, the question we all hate. Find the point that is 2/3 the distance from C to B. Guys, at this point, going over example after example after example of this, you either need to know how to use the formula or you don't know it. I'll move over here. That's the answer, by the way, 2 7/3. If you're going to start with C, you're going to have -2 plus, it's a 2/3 fractional distance. So 2, and then absolute value of x2 minus x1. So that's going to be 4 minus -2. And then for the y's, that's going to be -1 plus 2/3, absolute value of -1 minus 4. No, actually 4 minus -1. I have that backwards again, sorry. I have them in the wrong order. But again, guys, if this still is throwing you off, maybe the calculator will help you with this. I don't know. But basically, on the top here, you're going to get 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So in the first part, you have -2 plus 12/3. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. You're going to get -1 plus 10/3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So -2 plus 4. And here, you can make this -3/3 plus 10/3. So -2 plus 4 is 2. -3 plus 10 is +7/3. And that's how you get the answer. I know for a lot of you, those problems are not very easy, but need to be able to do them. 11A, B, and C determine if they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So in other words, they're not the same, but they're not opposite reciprocals. They're just two different slopes. -2, if you flip it, becomes 1/2. Change the sign, positive, so perpendicular. This is a tricky one. Different signs, you're like, oh, they didn't flip anything, but it's a slope of 1, and if you flip that, it's 1. So just so you know, -x and +x are in fact perpendicular, because you did technically flip the numbers, they just happen to be the same numbers. Over here, you've got to get these both into y equals mx plus b form. So not very difficult. Subtract 3x on the top one, and that cancels. You get y equals 6 minus 3x. So you have a -3 as your slope. And then over here you have 9x minus 3y equals 9. Minus 9x first. -3y equals 9 minus 9x. Divide by a -3 to everything. Okay, that negative does divide. And that's going to leave you with -3 plus 3x. So you have a -3 and a +3, but we didn't flip fractions. This would have to become a 1/3 for that to be perpendicular to each other, and they're definitely not the same because they're two different sides. All right, so this would simply be neither. All right. I'm going to have to pause after this next one because class is about to begin again. But you won't notice again because I'll pause it, then I'll restart it when I finish. Writing equations, you need two things: slope, point. This one says passes through 2, 5 and is parallel to the line y equals 4x minus 1. That means your slope is 4. Same as that one. The point is 2, 5. And then you just do point slope y minus 5 equals 4 times x minus 2. Sorry, that should be a 4. 2 steps. Distribute. Y minus 5 equals 4x minus 8. Add 5. And you should wind up at 4x minus 3. All right, so we'll finish the right side here in a second, which for you will be no time, but for me it's going to have to wait after a couple classes. All right, so we're continuing here, and we're actually live in 7th period now because I got interrupted earlier. So we are going to finish the last column of page 2. 13. Write an equation of the line that passes through point P and is perpendicular to the line -1/3 x. So the key here for one is being perpendicular. Remember, y'all need a slope and a point. Now, if I have a slope of -1/3, what would be perpendicular to that? Right. Positive. You got to flip it and change the sign. 3/1, positive. There's your slope. The point is 3, -2. From here, you want to use point slope formula, which, again, you'll have tomorrow with the formulas. And basically, let's see if I have enough room to do this. You're going to have y minus y1. So remember, x1, y1. So y minus -2 equals the slope times x minus x sub 1. So you start here. That's going to set it up, and then you have 2 steps to get to y equals mx plus b form. First step, distribute. And so the minus negative here becomes plus, so y plus 2. 3 times x, 3x. 3 times 3 is 9.
Negative 9, right?
Yes, because the 3 is positive, that one's minus, yeah. And then, second step, minus 2, minus 2. Now be careful, negative 9 minus 2, you're adding negatively, right? Plus a negative 2, so you should wind up with an answer of 3x minus 11. All right. Let's see if this will go. Yeah. 14 and 15 are actually really simple and do not require you to do much work because they give you the slope and the y-intercept, right? So you have m and you have b. So this is literally y equals mx plus b. And that's it. You don't have to solve anything. You don't have to distribute. You just plug it right in there. Technically the same thing for 15. Write an equation of a line that has a slope of 2/3, so 2/3, and passes through the point 0, negative 3. Now, if you do not recognize that 0, negative 3 is the y-intercept, you can put it into point slope form, go through the process, and you'll still get the same answer. But hopefully, to save yourself a bit of time, you realize that it is the y-intercept. And so, again, you have m, you have b, and you're going to get y equals mx plus b, which since it's a negative 3 will be minus 3. Hmm. 16, in the diagram, M is the midpoint of the segment. Find the indicated length. Now, and this is going to be very important on the benchmark. Make sure you read the question, because even problems that you have to solve for x, very rarely is the answer to the question what they want to know for x. Like here, they want you to find MH. So eventually I need to find the length that goes from here to here. But now I've got to solve this first. So, what do I know about GM and MH? They're equal to each other. M's a midpoint, so they're the same. So again, algebra, whether I'm talking segments, whether I'm talking angles, if two things are congruent and equal, then you set the algebraic expressions equal to each other. 4x minus 9 equals 2x plus 5. When x's are on different sides of equal, you have to cancel them out, or one of them out. Bring it to the other side, if you will. I generally like to get rid of the smaller one. So minus 2x cancels. 2x minus 9 equals 5.
Add 9.
Add 9. Yeah. Add 9. I'm going to move over here. There should be some more space. Yeah. Plus 9. That's going to give me 2x equals 14. Divide by 2. X equals 7. Again, good, but not the answer. Now we got to come back here with x being 7.
You plug it into 2 times 7 plus 5.
There you go. Plug it into 2x plus 5. So, yeah, it'll be 7. I'll do it in a different color here. So 2 times x is 7 plus 5. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 5, 19. And that's going to be very important tomorrow. Make sure you read all the questions and answer the specific thing. All right, last one. Segment AD has point B as a midpoint, and point C is the midpoint of BD. So read this carefully. You have a segment AD, and B is its midpoint. So, as accurately as you can. B is the midpoint. Those two are congruent. But then it tells you C is the midpoint of BD. So C goes right there as a point. And then also BC and CD would be equal. Now, I did tell you, remember, to make this not true, because 3 of them are true. So, A, is it true that AD is equal to BD plus AB? Is that true? Yes, the whole line AD equals this side plus this side. Well, we don't want the truth, we want the not true. B, AD equals AC plus CD. Correct. Also true, because A to C goes there, but then CD is the rest. BC equals CD. This equals this. So by the process of elimination, it should be D, but anytime you do process of elimination, always check the last answer to make sure you didn't make a mistake. They are saying here with the last one that AB is equal to AD, the whole line, minus CD. The problem with that is that leaves that BC gap right there, which is why it's not true. It would have to be AD minus BD to be true. Okay, and that's why it is correct. All right? For those of you watching the review video, we're done with the back page. Good luck tomorrow. Go over this. Hope it goes well.